Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to be back. I have been off for probably about 2 weeks. I have not filmed any videos. I haven't filmed any vlogs. I have just been off of YouTube, and not because I wanted to. I actually woke up one day with like a really bad like headache, and my eye was super swollen. I don't know what it was. My sister is a nurse practitioner, and she seems to think that I was like laying down on this side and that all the blood was just flowing. And I did tell her when I laid on my side that I was kind of like pressing my knuckles into my temple, and so she thinks that that's why I had like that swollen eye and that really bad headache. So I was waiting for my eye to heal, and basically there wasn't like a sty or a cut or anything like that on it. It was just the fact that it was so swollen. It just looked horrible. I could barely like see out of it because it was just so swollen and so tiny. So that's why I've been off of YouTube, and I have missed you guys. I have missed filming. I have missed vlogging. I have just missed it all. So I'm gonna start off my first video with some first impressions from the drugstore. Super excited to bring this to you guys because I have done a lot of drugstore shopping here lately. And because I haven't been able to use the products, I'm ready to use these products today. So let's go ahead and get started. I have washed my face and everything. I don't have skincare on because it's kind of in the middle of the day. Once I am done with this video, I am gonna wash everything off and then put my skincare and get ready for bed. It is a little bit later. I think it's like, what time is it? It's almost 7:40, so yeah, it's a little bit later in the evening, but that's okay. I am by myself here at home. My youngest daughter is actually babysitting. My husband's at work, so I have got the house to myself, and I'm ready to get this show on the road. So let's go ahead and get started. I do want to put some lip balm on because my lips are really dry. I'm just going to go in with this Wet n Wild lip balm. So I did do my nails again, guys. Here's what they look like. I really love the way he did my nails. I actually got this off of Pinterest, this style. So yeah, I'm really enjoying having nails again. So I am gonna start off with primer. I'm gonna start off with the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Collagen Primer. This is a new primer that I recently put in a haul that I showed on my channel. So I do want to go in with this. This is supposed to like lift and plump the skin, so super excited about that. It says infused with collagen and bakuchi oil, known for their anti-aging properties, minimizes the appearance of fine lines, and like I said, it's supposed to be visibly volumizing and helps rejuvenate the skin. So yeah, so this is new to Hard Candy. It has like a salmon color to it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and place this on the skin. I feel like it's more like, gosh, I don't want to say a lotion. It goes on really easy, but it's hard for me to say what it actually feels like because it's not like super slippery or anything like that, like a lotion. It's not like a gel. It's not silicone-y. Feels very mattifying. Now I can't really tell if it's plumping up the skin, but it doesn't look bad on the skin. It feels very like, kind of like powdery soft on the skin, but it doesn't feel like it's heavy. So I've got two palettes here. They're from PIXI, and I did show these in a haul as well. These are the palettes here. This is the Tina Young palette. It's an eyeshadow palette. And then this one is, what is it called? This is the PIXI Promise palette. So I am gonna use both of these palettes today. Let me get some eye primer really quick. I'm gonna go in with my NYX eye primer. This is in the shade Skin Tone. Then I'm just gonna place that all over the lid. And let me open this palette so you guys can see the shades. But these are the shades of this palette. And it seems very versatile. There's some neutral tones in there, some warm tones, some cool tones. So we're just gonna play with this. This seems like it would be a palette like for everyday wear. Now I don't know who Tina Young is, but it says here, Tina is a passionate beauty and lifestyle content creator. She is known for her series Tina Tries It on her channel, where she shares her take on products, makeup tutorials, and beauty hacks while inspiring viewers to step outside their comfort zone and try new things. So this is her right here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know who Tina Young was, now I do. So I'll probably go over there and check her channel out for sure. Let's go ahead and start with the eyes really quickly. I did not set this primer, so I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which is like a cream shade. And I'm just going to place that all over. I'm definitely gonna go into this orange shade right here, and I'm gonna use that in my crease. All right, that's a pretty orange shade. So now I'm gonna go into this shade here. I haven't tried PIXI eyeshadows in such a long time. It's been a while, long while. I was excited to see these two palettes because they really intrigued me, because I love the shades in the palette and I loved the shades in the bronzer palette. Okay, that is a beautiful shade. It's like a rusty brown shade. I think I'm gonna go in with this one here, and I'm just going to place that all over the lid. Now that's not as bold as I thought it was gonna be, so let me get some spray. I'm gonna go ahead and spray my brush with this Hello Good Stuff by Essence. I wanna see if I can get a little bit more pigmentation from that shade. It added a little bit more, but not much. It's really pretty though. I think I wanna go into this gray shade right here. I wanna put that gray shade right here on the edge, just to add some depth to that eye look. I will say that adding like this dark shade, I'm really impressed with how it blends well with the other shade that's on my eye. It's pigmented, but it's not like super pigmented where you can't work with it. I'm gonna try and go in with the lighter shade on my lids. That one wasn't as light. I'm gonna go in with that shade right there. And I'm just using that same MAC 242. I'm just gonna press that in the center. Now that is very pigmented. It's like a champagne gold shade. I think I'm gonna go in on top of it with that pink shade right there, because that one was kind of like champagne gold and the look is a little bit warmer. Now that pink is nice. All right, we'll come back to this palette. Now a foundation that I have been loving is this CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear 3-in-1 foundation. I have these two shades here. This one right here is when I'm really tan, like I do a self tan or my summer shade. This one's a little bit lighter. So I am gonna mix just a little bit of the light one with the dark one. I think mixing them will give me like the perfect shade. But I love this foundation, guys. It's so full coverage, but it doesn't feel like heavy on the skin. It's just really beautiful. And I have a new brush that I want to show you guys. This is the Real Techniques Easy as 1, 2, 3 foundation brush. So I just purchased this at Walmart, and it's supposed to be like this really soft foundation brush. So I want to go ahead and try that with this foundation today. I normally put on the foundation with a sponge, but because I brought this brush, I wanted to go ahead and try the brush. This is actually the brush here. It's super soft. I mean, like really soft. It says it's an ultra plush quality brush. I just added a little bit more foundation because I don't think I put enough on. A really soft brush. I mean, like super soft. It feels so good on the skin. This foundation is like super full coverage. It's so gorgeous on the skin. It lasts all day, and I've worn a mask with it and hardly any of the foundation comes off on the mask. It's like perfect. Do you see how smooth it looks on my skin? It looks like really smooth. And I only use like one pump, guys, or like actually use one pump of the dark one. And then I did like a half a pump of the light one. All right, I am gonna go in with my Tarte Shape Tape in Tan. I use this all the time for my melasma and any like imperfections that I have. And I just put a little bit on those areas, just like that. I'm gonna take that foundation brush and just kind of press it into the skin. Another thing about this brush is you can like do pressing motions and it blends it really beautifully. And I think it's because it's so soft. So I don't have any new concealer, but I am gonna go in with the Instant Age Rewind Concealer in medium. I like to put this like all over. Normally what I like to do with my concealers is go in here and here, but this one, I don't know. I just love putting it everywhere because it's so lightweight and it has great coverage. I'm gonna use this IT Cosmetics concealer brush. Just blending it all out. So we're gonna go ahead and set my face. I'm using the new Hard Candy Chilling Wonder Powder. It's actually a hydrating powder. I did pick this up at Walmart. I've heard some really good things about this powder. Now, I did hear that it's supposed to be compared to the BECCA powder, the one that feels like water on the skin. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it right here if I do remember it, but it's supposed to be comparable to that. So I'm excited to try this. So this is what the powder looks like. It's a translucent powder. I'm gonna go ahead and take the seal off. I took this, oh gosh, I took the seal off and I'm going to put the top back on and I'm gonna flip it over, flip it back up. And then I have powder in here. I'm just gonna take a powder brush and I'm gonna set, whew, it's all over the place. I'm gonna set my face. It feels wet, just like the BECCA one. It feels wet on the skin. It's a cooling sensation, but it's setting that makeup really beautifully. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look drying. I do wanna see how this looks on the under eyes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set that. Wow, not too bad, guys. It looks good. Wow, it looks really good. I'm really surprised how well it looks. Now, it doesn't brighten up the under eyes, which, you know, I like a bright under eye. I will say that. It doesn't brighten it up, but it did set it very well. I'm definitely gonna go in with like a brightening type powder here in a minute, but so far so good with this. I think it looks really beautiful on the skin. I think it set that foundation really well. So far I like it. All right, so the next palette I'm gonna go into is this PIXI Promise palette. There's brightening powders in here and bronzer. So I think I'm gonna use one of these brightening powders to kind of brighten up that under eye. So these are the shades in the palette. I'm definitely gonna take that brush that I used for setting my under eyes and I wanna go into a brighter shade. So I think I'm gonna use this shade right here. It's way brighter than this banana shade, but I feel like I wanna start with this one first. So I'm just gonna press it right here, just to brighten up that under eye. That did an okay job. I don't think it brightened it up as much as I wanted it to, but it did okay. The next thing I'm gonna do is go in with bronzer. I think I'm gonna mix these two here and hopefully get a really nice shade of bronzer. Just going to press that onto the cheeks. Now, I will say that it looks more like blush. It doesn't look like bronzer. I just don't think it's like a shade of bronzer that I would have gone for. I just felt like the light one is just too light and the dark one's too dark. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So the next product I'm gonna go in with is the Soap Styler. This is for Laminate Fluffy Natural Soap Brows. So this is from Revolution. Now you can use this in two ways. You can actually use it wet or you can use it dry and it'll make your eyebrows stay in place if you use it dry. Now, if you use it wet, it's just more like a styler, just to kind of brush the brows out. I do want to go ahead and use this dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows really quickly off camera, and then I'll come back and then we'll go in with this soap styler. All right, so I went ahead and did my brows. Like I said, we're gonna use this dry. So it says to just rub the brush in there. And using it dry, like I said, only makes the brows stay up straight. So that's what I want to do here. See how this works. I may have put too much soap styler on there. It's not bad. I think I put too much initially on the tip of the brush, but it still looks really good. Let me put just very little on this other brow. I don't know if I like the brush on this. I might have to use like a spoolie that I have, I'm gonna use this spoolie from this eyebrow pencil that I had. Take some of that excess product off. I just feel like the spoolie is probably just a little bit better, and I have some extra spoolies to use if I need to. I just don't like how, I don't know if you guys can see, but I just don't like how that product sits on the bristles. It doesn't really distribute it like I want it to. So using a spoolie is probably a better deal, but it is lifting my brows and keeping them like lifted high, so I do like that. I'm gonna go in with this Almay Healthy Hue blush. This is in Nearly Nude. I love these blushes from Almay. They're so good. And I'm just gonna put that on my cheeks. This blush looks really close to that bronzer as far as the shade is concerned. So before we do lashes, I do want to go over this with a powder, like a finishing powder. So I am going to go in with the finishing powder. This one's by No. 7, and this is the Lift and Luminate Triple Action Finishing Powder in medium. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to just take a little bit of that and then kind of just buff it all over the skin, kind of blend everything together. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the bottom lash line with a pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into, I'm gonna use this shade right here, and I'm just going to run that, I'm gonna run that right here on my bottom lash line. And then I'm gonna take that gray shade that I used before, and I'm just gonna run it right here, closer to the edge. Okay guys, so I just noticed that I was not recording, but I am trying this Lift and Define 5D Lash Extra Dimension Mascara from Revolution. This is the packaging, and then here is the brush. And I've already put one coat on. I let it dry, so now I'm putting a second coat on. So far, I'm seeing that it just gives length. I am gonna put it on these bottom lashes. So like I said, I do see like length, but I don't see a lot of volume. And I think for the bottom lashes, it looks pretty nice. If you have a lot of lashes and you're looking for length, this is a mascara that I would definitely try, but for volume, I just don't see that it's given my lashes like any volume. All right, so let me put on some lipstick. So I'm gonna go in with this Lippy Pencil by ColourPop in Taurus. And then I'm gonna go in with this Juvia's Place lipstick. This is in the shade Mademoiselle. And then for setting spray, I'm gonna go in with this Radiant Setting Spray by Neutrogena. And I've heard so many good things about this spray, so I'm gonna use this all over. Ooh, I will say that that is drenching. Comes out very wet, as you can see. I'm gonna dry this up. I do wanna add some lip gloss, and this isn't really drugstore, but I wanna use it anyway. This is the Wet Cherry Lip Gloss by Lime Crime, and this is in Naked Cherry. I love Lime Crime lip glosses. They're just like so glossy and beautiful on the lips. So I just wanted to add just a little bit of that. I wanted to tone down like that peach shade, but that's really, really pretty. All right, so let's go over these products really quickly. I do wanna mention the product that I dislike the most, and it's the PIXI and Promise palette. I just feel like this bronzer was not like a true bronzer. I felt like this shade would have been too light on me, and so that's why I mixed it with this shade, but it still did not come out like a bronzer that I would normally wear. This here, this shade that I put on the bottom of my under eyes didn't really lighten anything up, so I don't think I would really have use for this palette. So unfortunately, this did not work for me, but I will say the Tina Young palette is gorgeous. I love the way the eyeshadow applied. I love how the shades blended well together. I didn't have any issues with any of the shades in this palette that I used, so I really do like this palette, guys. It is such a great palette, and like I said, it's one of those palettes it's gonna be like for everyday wear. For the Hard Candy Chilling Wonder Powder, guys, this is really good. I loved the way it set my makeup. It felt a little like cooling and wet on the skin, but it didn't look wet on the skin. It set everything in place. It didn't look super matte. It didn't look super dewy. It was just like right in between, and it just set that foundation really, really well. So I do really like this powder. I will be experimenting with this powder and other foundations that I have in my collection, but so far I am loving it. I think it's so beautiful on the skin, and the plus is very affordable. So for the Real Techniques Ultra Plush Foundation Brush, I really like this. I do feel like it blended in that makeup really well. I would love to see how this would apply like cream products, like a cream bronzer or like a cream blush. So I will be trying it with those products, but so far with foundation, it works beautifully with it. It blended it in really well. And you could also do like a stippling method just to get that extra full coverage. And it works just as well as you blending it in. It looks very smooth. So I really do like this brush, and I will be using this with more cream products. So for the soap styler, I do like the soap styler. Looking at my brows right now, they're still in place. They stand up really well. They haven't moved. They don't feel like crunchy or anything. So I really do like this, and I especially like it for the price because I bought this to compare it to the Anastasia Brow Freeze, and I think this works just as well, if not better. I will say that I don't like the brush that comes with it. I would definitely just go ahead and use your own spoolie when using this product. This just picks up way too much product, and it adds like globs of product on your brows. So I would really refrain from using this brush that it comes with. But other than that, this is such a good product, guys. So glad that I picked it up. I will be definitely using this a lot more often, especially for the summer when I get hot and sweaty. I will definitely be using this product to keep my brows in place. So for the Lift and Define Mascara, I think it does lift my eyelashes. I think it does define them. It does give them like length. It doesn't really provide a volume, but I do like that it lifts them. I do like the length in them. I would just have to go in with a volumizing mascara after this. So for the last product, this Radiant Setting Spray by Neutrogena, I'm in love with this spray, guys. I don't care that it doused my face with product. I love the way it set everything. It didn't like accentuate anything. It just made everything look really nice and smooth. So I really, really do like this. Okay, guys, so I almost forgot to mention this last product. It's the Hard Candy Collagen Primer. Now, I will say that when this went on my skin, it doesn't feel like greasy or oily or silicone-y or, you know, moisturizing. It's weird. It's like, I don't know. It honestly feels, and I hate to say it this way, but it honestly feels kind of like pasty. Not where it's hard to blend, but it has that consistency, if that makes any sense. But I do like it. Now, I can't tell right now whether it's volumizing or not, but when I put on my foundation went on really smooth. It just made the foundation go on really nicely. So I do like this, but I do have to test it out a little bit more as far as seeing whether it volumizes or it makes my skin look a little bit more plump. But either way, I will test this out a little more and let you guys know. All right, guys, so that's it for my first impressions of these new products. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm so happy to be back. I cannot wait to start making more videos, and I hope that I don't have to deal with another eye issue again, because it stinks when I can't come on here. I just really enjoy doing this, and I hope you guys enjoy my videos just as much as I enjoy doing it. So thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.